Officially calling to order the Historic District Commission meeting at 4:02 p.m. And if everyone could just say their names.
Barry Wood.
Don, sir.
Mimi McDonald.
And Don.
Don Bannon.
Okay, and Kirsten Alexander. And so we're missing, who are we missing?
Kelly Schmidt.
Kelly Schmidt, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll just state Joe Pesamato, Assistant Town Administrator. And, Michael, you want to state your name as well?
Oh, I'm sorry, Michael Gillis, 179 Main Street, Wenham.
Great. Is there any public comment on a matter not on the agenda?
Let's see here. There is no public comment.
Okay. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes from May 23rd?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone have any changes?
No.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion to accept the minutes of May 23rd as submitted?
I make a motion to accept the minutes of May 23rd as submitted.
And a second?
I second.
I second.
Okay, I think Dawn said it first. So,
Fine with
okay,
me.
all in favor? Mary,
Aye.
Mimi. Oh yeah, we have two Marys. So Mimi,
Aye.
Mary, Dawn,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
and I, Kirsten, also. Okay, so the minutes are approved, and we'll move straight to talking about Mr. Gillis's application.
Would you
So
like me to share the packet, Kirsten, on the screen?
sure, that would be great. Save me from hopping between screens.
Sure. Unless Kirsten wants anything else, Michael, I think you could start.
Yeah, why don't you give us just an overview of where you are and what you're hoping to achieve here?
Okay, so I got the impression from our first meeting online, our first Zoom meeting, that the issue might have been the mixed use of mixed materials. And after that meeting, I went down to the building supply in Essex and talked with the foreman down there, and he gave me a sample of the mahogany decking in lieu of the Trex decking, and I actually liked it a lot more. So the overall, I'm trying to achieve the same thing I think that the committee is trying to achieve. I want to have an appropriately old looking house here on Main Street. So I'm ready to install a wooden fence that I have rehabilitated. I bought it used from a woman in Walpole. I trucked it up here and took it all apart and stained it white and put it all back together. It's natural wood. Same thing with the stoop that I need to build to replace the rotted front steps of my house. The plan is to use pine and a mahogany decking. I want to install a brick walkway edged in cobblestone, and then paint the whole house white with some black accent pieces. But I also plan on
Would the
taking
scrolling
down.
stop so we can read?
I
Pardon
know,
me?
it's making you dizzy.
Oh, I'm not touching it. So, so the impression I got was the materials need to be sort of natural. And so I have no issue with that whatsoever. I also plan on taking down the metal storm doors that are there, replacing them with wooden storm doors. I don't like the metal. And I think the gal who was the chair, the temporary chair last meeting, is it Kelly?
Kelly.
Yeah,
Kelly.
Kelly mentioned the metal front door having a brass strip and how that should go. And I think I'm going to get rid of it in its entirety. I don't think it looks proper either, but I want to make it look old. I want to use natural materials. I totally am in sync with all of that. I did level off the strip of land between the sidewalk and the street. And in the interim between our first meeting and now, I now have a little bit of grass growing there, which is nice. The sample deck there, I think, is going to end up being a little smaller. The picture that just scrolled by.
Can we go back to Joe?
It's going to
And
be,
just hold
it's
there.
not going to be quite as deep and it's not going to be quite as wide. The original dimension is 84. The original dimension was going to be 52, but Don Bannon came out to the property and we decided that in terms of the scale, pushing it back a little bit, taking advantage of a concrete pier that's already been embedded in the ground and been there for quite some time is probably the way to go. So the only difference between the picture that we're looking at is I'm going to use natural wood. I can't, for some reason, I have a mental block about the name, not trellis, but the plastic piece to the left.
It's
gonna be
A6. A6.
Yeah. No, it's
Oh.
that plastic stuff. I'm going to have just straight 1x4 slats, as in my drawing. My
On the
pencil
top, you're talking on the top?
No, to the little box to the left.
It looks like the-
There, the lattice.
The diamond.
Lattice, thank you. Yeah,
Lattice.
the lattice. So the lattice is going to be 1x4, straight up and down and painted black. The decking will be mahogany stained, natural mahogany, and I'm going to paint the wooden door that I get. That I have to find it first, but then it's not going to be hard. And I'm going to paint that black along with the window boxes that I'm going to put back up and the shutters I'm going to put back up. And I bought new old shutters. The shutters that were up there were falling apart. So I got new ones and I've already rehabbed those and, sanded them smooth and painted them glossy black. So I'm going to paint as much of the house as possible white. The only parts that will be black will be the wooden storm windows on the first floor, the window boxes on the first floor, the lattice trim under the deck, and then the shutters, first and
What color
second
is the
floor,
lattice going to be?
black.
Why have
But
the
the-
lattice black? I mean, we can't control color, but why would you have it black?
There's not much of it. There's none showing on the front. It's only showing on the side.
Oh,
The width of the deck will have a step the whole way, so that if you look at the drawing that I sent, the only lattice is on the side, and there's not going to be much of it. There's probably only going to be 14 or 15 inches in height showing, and maybe the same. It'll be very discreet. But it's just going to be. There won't be any other colors. It'll be black. It'll be white with a little bit of black accent and the red mahogany decking. But I think it's going to be quite nice. I'm actually very excited about it. I did plant some hedges. I took down the big overgrown hedges that were there, and I planted some boxwoods. You've probably seen it going by. I think I planted 10 boxwoods that'll eventually grow into a little bit of a hedge, but that'll be behind the fence. And so what I did was I took ideas from different houses up and down the street. As I mentioned in my first presentation, the brick walkway is almost identical to the walkway 2 doors over to the new house that they've been renovating for the last year and a half. And then the fence is the same house. There's a fence closer to City Hall on the other side of the street that I sent some pictures. So I don't think I'm recreating the wheel in any way. And the use of, I think to me, it seemed like the only sticking point was the lack of fence plans and then what I was using for the decking. And the decking's now going to be mahogany. And I've done some research on the staining and preservation of the deck, and I can probably get 5 years out of it at least without having to do anything every year. And if I have to repaint it in 5 years, I can do that. There's really not going to be much of it. Again, it's only going to be probably about 42 inches deep, which is 10 or 11 boards, 80 inches long. So it's really not going to be much.
Okay, great. Thank you. I think that gives us a good summary unless there's anything else critical. I'd like to go to questions from the committee. And maybe Don, would you mind speaking first? Because I know you went to go visit.
Yes, at the last meeting, Michael, I went over I tried to replicate your sketch in a different scale, 1/2 inch to a foot. But I really disagree. And I feel like it's the porch or the deck is not appropriate. It doesn't fit in with any of the historical houses that are correct. And I would like to see you eliminate the porch and just have the steps. And they could be as wide as the bump out or a little bit less if you so choose. What I'd like to do is meet with you again and show you what I'm proposing in place of your sketch. Your sketch really needs to be more accurate, showing dimensions. And that's pretty much what my comments were.
May I speak?
Joe, yeah, just a moment. Can you scroll down to where the sketches are, Joe, so we can see? And go ahead, Mary.
Well, we discussed before when Michael was on here, he wanted to make the width of the deck. I don't think it's a porch. He wanted to make the width of the deck, the width exactly of the bump out. And I have no problem with that because the bump out, the width of the current decking is, as he mentioned, when you open the door, which opens out towards the street, there's really not enough room to safely step back around the door. So that's why he wanted to make it the width of the bump out. Is that correct, Michael?
Yes. Also, the sketch that shows that is the original sketch. There's a newer one that's more detailed. If you could
Right.
scroll into the newer
I have
packs
no
that I
problem
sent.
with the width of the actual bump out. No wider though. That would look weird.
No, it's not going to be wider, but I guess well, if we could scroll to that sketch, I think we'd get a better idea of what's the issue.
Because I don't think it's a really it's not a porch, it's a deck. It's a stoop, like the front stoop of.
Yeah, I'm quite frankly, I'm a little surprised that yeah, that's still not it. If you keep going, these are just the materials now. That's the porch. That was what was there.
That looks pathetic because it's not the width of the bump out. It really looks like somebody didn't have enough wood or something. So the width of the bump out, I think would look nice. What does everybody else think?
Well, we still haven't gotten to the sketch.
I think we just passed the steps.
Yeah, but the sketch that I drew a sketch.
Oh, a sketch.
A sketch of the, my second attempt at the drawings. I drew a sketch of the. Doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like that, or it doesn't look like that. Made it into the.
Yeah, let me see if it's in a different file. 1 second, please. Michael, is this, can you see this? Is what you mean?
I can't, all I see right now is the picture
Yeah,
of my garage from 2 months ago.
No, but he's holding it up, Joe. I could see it.
Hang on. Yeah, say that again. All right, Joe, there you are. Show me that again.
Yep, I have a few things here.
There's something on
that's it.
page 6.
This is it. I can scan it to myself. This is it here.
So it's the, what is my third page? There's a side
You've had
sketch
it
of
up
the
before.
stoop.
One here.
No, that's a
Yeah.
top view.
Oh.
I have one from that has a side view.
One here.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Just give you guys can continue. Just take a minute or two to scan this to myself. Okay. I'll be right back.
So the concern I have about having just steps is that there really isn't enough room for someone to stand there and ring the bell and have the door open and have them walk in. It would be like a walk up, ring the bell, step back down, wait for the door to open, then walk back up, which to me just, I don't know, it doesn't seem very welcoming. And I feel that way because I have lived here with those goofy 3 steps since I got here. And it was never pleasant to have someone come and ring my bell. It was, they had to walk up, knock
If
or
it's the
ring and then
width
walk
of
back
the
down.
bump out, wouldn't that be enough room to step to the side?
I guess so, but I guess I'm wondering what the issue is with if there's a 48-inch.
Oh, you want to
Platforms.
pump it out a little bit more towards the street.
Correct, yes.
Okay,
I think
I got
the distance that's there now is like, it would be a 42-inch depth instead of the 52 original, but that's what Dawn's objecting to, is having any type of deck to it, which quite frankly, I'm virtually stunned about. I don't really understand what the issue could possibly be about having a front porch or front stoop. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just,
I don't think we should call it a porch. It's a stoop.
right. So I just don't understand what the issue is, but again, this is what you guys are here for, so I'm willing to listen. But right now, this has a 52 wide, but the existing concrete pier that's there is about 42 from the house, and so I would scale it back to that 42-inch. The depth of it would be 42 inches, and then it would have stairs going up and down. But again, I don't
Is
have
that wider than the bump out now?
No,
No, it's the width of the bump out.
right.
Okay, I think that's what is important. So you want to make it 10 inches deeper towards the street?
10 inches less deep. Right now, the original scale, the original drawing that you're looking at, my second version, was before Dawn came out to visit, and we discussed perhaps reusing the concrete pier that's there as the base for the stoop.
Oh,
And
for the
then-
depth.
Yeah, for the depth. And so instead of being 52 closer to the street, it would be only 42, and thus making the stairs not as close to the street as they are in this design. But
So in other words, you'd be using the original concrete.
yes, the concrete that's
Which,
been there
I mean-
for I don't know how many years, probably since it was built.
Right. I have no problem with the original concrete.
Eric call you? I'm not sure. He said he took care of
I think it is important to be able to allow it, personally, to allow it to go the width of the
schedule, 'cause I think
stoop.
that's gonna be
So
fine.
for safety purposes, you don't step into the garden or whatever as you're opening the door. I think that's important. And I bet there's a code for that too.
If you have an email, I'll CC you copy of the final bill that I'm gonna send. in.
We're hearing some background noise from someone, not sure. Mimi, did you have anything you want to add? Questions?
No, I'm just trying to visualize it.
Well, tomorrow, once I get that final done.
Yes,
You're welcome. Have a good day. Yep.
So what I'm hearing is that you wish the top step to be wider than the other steps.
No,
I understand.
no, that's not it at all. It's each step is going to be the same width.
But you want the top step to be deeper.
It's going to be, right now, the plan that I'm showing you has, if you look at the side version, there's a step underneath the door down to the stoop. Then the stoop itself, which is out to 42, and then one more step down to the sidewalk. So a total of 3 steps, split, one on top of the stoop, one below the stoop, and then the stoop itself. And the stoop is going to be as wide as the bump out, and the steps are going to be less, like 68 instead of 84, but they're all going to be the same width. And
But don't you want, isn't the problem the width? Isn't that your issue? Because you said
no,
when
no.
people come
It-
to your
no,
door, they can't step on the front step. So you
the
want it to
issue
be
is that
wide.
one of the steps, the middle step, if you think of it that way, the middle step is going to be the stoop itself, which is going to be 42 inches deep. So you're coming in the sidewalk, brick
This doesn't make
sidewalk.
any sense. I'm sorry.
I
don't mean to
don't,
be rude, but
I
it's
have,
not
I
making
have
any-
side view, top view. I don't know how else to explain it. Dawn's been out there. I as a layman, I'm doing the best I can, but I can't, I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, I have
Joe,
pictures.
can you go to the picture
Sideways.
of the original stairs? So it looks like there's like the ground level and then 3 steps up,
Let's go up to the original picture of the stairs,
right?
please.
So after this, is it still going to be ground level and 3 steps? And one of them is just a wider area where you can stand too? Or is it going to be
There,
2 steps? That's what I'm a little confused.
okay.
So keep going to the sample picture.
That one?
No. Keep going. No. All right, stop. So can you bring that into focus?
But
So this is what originally Don had said to me he wanted me to build. Something with 2 steps to a flat deck above beneath the door. Again, it's only going to be as wide as the bump out. This is someone else's house in Danvers. But this is sort of the idea. So in my version, there's going to be 1 step below the stoop, then 1 step on top of the stoop, but so the 2 steps, the top and bottom steps are going to be the same width. The stoop is going to be the width of the bump out. There's going to be a little bit of a difference, but not much. The stoop is 84 inches wide. I think the plan was to make the steps 68 inches wide. 68 from 84 is 14, so there would be a 7-inch indent from the stoop and the front step.
so the width, what's the width of the bump out right now?
84 inches. 84 inches.
And so the top decking will be 84 inches wide to match.
Correct.
Okay,
The stoop
steps
itself. So
will-
so the issue is, I from what I'm hearing, the issue is I have the stoop having a step on top and a step below. I want the stoop closer to the ground. I want the stoop to be 1
You want
step
this
off the ground.
Is this the picture you're showing us that you're trying to build?
No, this is similar, but not the same. In this picture, the picture of the house in Danvers, 327,
Why
That
aren't
has
you
two-
showing us what you want to do? It's really confusing.
but I don't have a picture of what I want to do because you're not letting me do it. If I built it and showed you a picture, then I think it would be pretty straightforward, but I can't
Wasn't
build it
Dawn
without a building
drawing this
permit.
out for you?
Pardon me?
Wasn't Dawn drawing this out for you?
I never saw a drawing after Don came to visit, so I'm not sure. You'd have to ask him.
I've drawn your version, Michael, but I have not shown you my sketch of what I would do. I think
John, I haven't seen
is
either
not
version.
appropriate. And I would like to show you the sketch before we vote on it. I just think the stoop is not appropriate for for the historic district. And that's my feeling, my professional feeling. And I'd like to get a chance to show you what I'm talking about. It's hard to do on a Zoom meeting or on the telephone. I would like to come over to your place and
Why don't we do a site visit?
Great, but I'm frustrated because it's been taking so long, and I know I missed the meeting last time, but I bet because I was out working in my yard, I lost track of time, but
Kirsten, it's up to you guys and the commission. If Don has the drawings there, I can scan it to you guys now and share it, or it's up to you though.
It's just very difficult to approve something that we don't have a visual of.
I just can't visualize it, I think is the
I
challenge. So,
have
we
no way to
need-
take a picture of something that I haven't, that I can't build without a permit.
right, we're thinking more
Draw it up.
renderings,
And
drawings.
that we need a rendering, and Don is an architect, and it's very generous of him to do this for you. So
So-
I think that would be in everyone's best interest if we had a site visit and then we can approve it on site.
Yeah.
Or
Don,
Right.
do you just basically say what you were envisioning? Is it like 3 steps all the same width, or is there one of them wider? What was
All
your
right, so it
thought?
would be
No,
one
no,
step.
I wanted to know
So-
what Don's thought was.
Oh, okay. I'm confused. Are you asking me Don's thoughts, or you're asking?
No,
Don
I'm
Don's
asking
thoughts?
Don for what he was envisioning.
I really don't have a sketch of what I propose. And I would do that before a site visit to show you the difference between what you're talking, what your rough sketch shows, Michael, and what I would propose that we change to some extent. Well, that's basically my feeling. And I think it's important to really have an accurate sketch of whatever we accept and vote on. So that's where I would leave it at.
I think it would be really helpful to do a site visit. I have no problem. It's just down the street. Be so easy. He could show us exactly where, how wide the steps are and all that kind of stuff. It's really hard to envision because in this particular picture, the steps look like they'll be too wide for the house.
I think that's the easy part. The bump out's 84 inches. That's the width of the stoop itself. The question's going to be, do I put the 2 steps? Do I put the stoop 2 steps up like this picture, or do I do 1 step, stoop, 1 step? My preference is 1 step, 1 stoop, 1 step. But if I have to do 2 steps, it's not that big of a deal and not that big of a difference. But it's not going to be it's only going to be 48 inches deep, 42 inches deep, not 52. And the bump out, the only thing that's going to be 84 inches wide is the stoop itself. The steps are going to be slightly smaller, a 7-inch indent on either side. So that's, if it's, to me, it's not worth delaying the project further for just trying to figure out whether it's going to be 1 step up or 2 steps up. If it's 2 steps up, the stoop is higher off the ground. If it's 1 step up, the stoop is closer to the ground. My preference is to have the stoop closer to the ground, but I'm certainly willing to, if
Could we go
there's some,
back to the picture of the house, the actual stoop as it stands now? Joe?
Sure.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Those
So
are the
that's
steps that used to be
officially-
there.
Oh, the thing you're talking about, the steps would cover would be that ugly cement thing, right?
Correct.
Oh, that would be good, because that is ugly. So steps would be covered. That would be the first step. One, so,
I talked to a construction friend of mine, the guy that came over to fix a leak I had. He said we would ram set a piece of pine to the house to cover that cement completely. So there would be no evidence of the cement on the front. That we would ram set a piece of pine, probably a pretty hefty piece, would ram set it with lag bolts that would be covered by the step. And so there wouldn't be any cement showing on the front. And
in other words, you push out the steps a little bit, the risers, it would just be pushed out a little bit in order to cover that cement slab. Is that what you're saying?
right. So there would still be the first step, but before we built the steps, we would put a piece of pine that would cover the cement
Oh,
84 inches wide. So the cement would be there would be no evidence of the cement from the front. So there would be a piece of pine covered by the step, and then the stoop, and then the step down. So
I
there
think
was
that
still,
would look weird to put out a piece of pine to cover the cement. Why don't you push the steps out a little bit and make the riser, just,
well, there's no way that would make the steps 84 inches wide, which I don't want to do. The cement is 84 inches
you
wide.
mean deep.
Uh,
Wide is the width. You mean?
Yeah. Oh, the cement that we're talking about, if you want to blow that picture up, if you below the first step, there's a piece of cement there, a cement
Right.
step. We're going to utilize that cement step as the basis
Yeah.
of the
Of the
Of the-
first step.
stoop. No, that'll support the frame of the stoop. In other words, that's going to have a 2x6 for the 6x6s that are there. I'm going to have, like a 12 or 14 inch to make the numbers right. That'll be the foundation. And so the steps will be that width that's there now. The 2x6, the cement pier that you see is going to be the found, instead of digging 2 lally column holes, which I've pre-dug, but I can just fill them in. That's no big deal. But I'm just going to use that cement pier that's there to anchor the stoop itself. So if you look at the stoop is going to be the depth of that cement step back to the house, because that's 42 inches. Those 3 steps are 14, 14, 14.
So the front of it by the
Yep.
roadside front.
Right.
The back.
I still
Right.
think it would be really helpful for all of us to do a site visit. I hate to say it.
No, that's fine. That would be the easiest, because I could show you.
What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, it's really up to the commission, but theoretically, if you meet, do a site visit, you could actually vote there if you're
I
satisfied.
think it's just hard to visualize this whole thing now.
Okay.
And maybe we're all being obtuse, but I think we want it to look great from the street too.
Yeah, I want it to look great too. I'm all on board on looking great. It's just I'm puzzled about Dawn's objections, but I'm willing to listen. I just want to get moving. My house looks like crap. People say, oh, you're the guy that works at the dump site.
All right. So it sounds like there's consensus to have an on-site meeting of the commission.
And we can try to do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Well, you all know where I live.
I mean, we probably should try to do it together.
Yeah, well, so if it's an official meeting of the commission, then we have to post the agenda and all of that stuff. So and that's at least 48 hours in advance.
Tuesday,
So
we
I
can
would
do it on
suggest
Thursday.
early next week, if that works for people.
We can do it. Can we do it Thursday or Friday?
There's not enough time for the Ray Kirsten 48 hours. 'cause
Right. Yeah, it would have to be next week.
I'm not, the only day I'm not available next week is Wednesday. But I'm available any other day but Wednesday.
Okay. Would people be available on Monday?
I think so.
What time of day is best?
Let me run down and look at my calendar.
Kristen, I was just gonna mention too, so Catherine's not here right now, so obviously we can't ask her, but if she's not able to go to an on-site visit, someone from the commission would have to do the minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Michael, what does your schedule look like?
I'm completely available on Monday.
Okay.
So whatever time is agreeable to the committee, it's fine with me. Just, I'm a rubber stamp.
I've got an appointment at noon on Monday, but it won't take very long. Well, middle of the day, I'm not good, but otherwise in the morning or the later, later in the afternoon, I'm good.
How would 3 o'clock work for people?
Fine by me.
Don, are you available 3 o'clock on Monday?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Amy?
I'm
Maybe.
available.
Okay, sounds like we have a quorum. So, Michael, are
Perfect.
you okay if we table the fence until then as well?
I'd rather discuss the fence now if we could, so that I can sort of at least do what I can do.
I think
We
you may
go
run
back to the
into some
fence?
same issues, but okay. Joe, can we bring up the fence?
Is that Joe bringing up the fence, okay.
The images, yeah. Do we have exact images of the exact fence?
Yes.
Okay, great.
That's it.
And it'll be wood, right?
There's wood, yeah. But again, you can confirm all this with the site inspection because the sections are here.
Lisa, I think we're getting some feedback from you. Okay, any questions about the fence?
We want to
Again,
make sure that it's in scale with the house. And that would be probably my basic opinion about it.
It's 41 inches high at the highest point.
that's the fence post with a cap. The highest point of the picket portion of the fence is 36.
Oh, okay, so that's not very high.
It's 30 inches at the low point and 36 at the high. It's actually quite low to the ground. When I had the same concern as Dawn about the scale, and so given that the house isn't very tall, when I bought the fence, it was 5 feet high, and I cut 2 feet off the bottom. And if you wanted me to cut more off the bottom, if it was still too high, I would. But I think it would be easier if the posts are too high. The post can come down as much as 6 inches. I actually want the fence to be as low as possible myself. So but it will be easy to envision the fence at the site visit because I could put up a section. I could kind of jury rig one of the sections, just put it out there.
That's
That wouldn't
probably
be
a good idea.
I think
Yeah,
that would,
that wouldn't be hard to do.
What's the scale of it as opposed to the black fence across the street?
The black fence, it's lower.
It's lower than the black fence, okay.
Yeah, the black fence, I think it's 42 across the way. But the fence post might be the same height. But my scallop, the middle of the scallop is only gonna be 30 inches off the ground.
Are there other scallop fences on the street?
Yeah, the section, the house that I sent pictures of originally for our first meeting, it's about, I'm probably 8 houses north of the city hall. So it's probably like 4 houses north of city hall on
Oh,
the same
okay.
side. There's that's the fence. That's the fence that I copied, and that's the height that I copied. I actually went
Oh,
over there
okay.
one day with a tape measure and measured the dip in their scallop and mimic that, because I like how low that looks, and it's the same. It's my fence is a little further away from the house. Their house is a little closer to the street than mine, but not by much. But I like the way their fence looks, a nice low fence. And they have all those pretty flowers every summer, which I'm hoping I can get the fence in time to get everything to grow. You know, so I
That
have
fence, this fence picture looks like ASIC. It's not, but yours is wood.
mine is wood, and I believe theirs is wood as well. I don't think
Okay.
theirs is AZEC. This is cedar, stained white.
Right.
Yeah, mine's definitely wood, but it's the same fence as up the street or down the street.
I have no problem with the fence. What does everybody else think?
it's a nice looking fence.
Right.
I do agree that looking at it in the site visit makes sense to me. And then I think because it'll be an official meeting, we can vote on the spot as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that agreeable?
yes.
So
So
we're gonna wait on the fence till the site visit too?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll have a piece. I'll get a piece up somehow. I'll prop
Oh,
it up
that's
with
nice.
2x4 or something, and it'll be easy.
Great.
Great.
Now, can we just do one more thing?
sorry, guys, real quick. I just want to make sure we have a quorum. So Kirsten, you're able to go too, you said?
Yes.
On Monday. I know they have the conference. Okay, we have Mary, Don, and Mimi, right? And possibly Lisa and Kelly, I'll ask. Okay.
Yes.
May I say one more thing? Michael, I think you wanted to put in an arbor. I have trouble with personally, I have trouble with the arbor. Because I think it'll be too busy. And I don't think there's any other arbors on Main Street.
Well,
Not on the front
according
of
to
the
Mimi,
house.
there was one across the street that they just took down. From our last meeting, that was her original comment, that there was one across the street that they just took down.
So are we I don't have the arbor on the agenda. Unless that's part
I
of the
think it was-
fence.
I think it would be really busy with what's going on.
So again, why don't we discuss that on site?
Okay,
It'll give us a better sense of the space. And Michael, do you have an arbor?
No, I have, the arbor is gonna be built out of the materials that I already have, but I haven't built it yet.
Okay, all right. Great. Okay, any other further questions? Joe, you had something?
Yeah, I just want to briefly say, and this wasn't on the agenda, but it was just brought up after 48 hours of the posting. The building commissioner has said 169 Main Street is almost finished for final inspection. So he wanted to know, we can talk about this at a different, perhaps the next meeting on Monday, if the commission would like to go on a site visit, just if they have any final questions. The owners have been before the HDC, and I do have the certificate of appropriateness, I believe was back in 2018. But Rich Maloney, the building commissioner, did want me to deliver that message to you if the board wanted to do a site visit there at some point. And Rich also said he'd be happy to join you there as well if you had questions on that.
I mean, if they're available on Monday, it's right there. So it'd be great to double up.
yeah, I think so too.
Okay, yep, we can
So-
look into contacting the owner.
Okay.
We just
if
have
we
to make
can,
sure which house we're going to first.
we're going to Michael's house first. I think.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Hopefully that
I
will
have a
work out.
5 o'clock commitment that I have to get to. So I'll see everybody next Monday at 3 o'clock here at 179 Main Street.
Yes.
Okay, I'll see you then. Thanks
All
everyone for their
right.
time
Thanks so
today.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Does anyone else have any other new business? I do actually, but I want to give you all a chance. Okay, so in the master plan meeting last week, I brought up the project that I've been working on the demolition delay. And they have an enormous number of resources, the consultants that we're working with, and are absolutely happy to make that part of their recommendations and give us lots of resources. So as part of the master planning process, which is great. I think we'll put it all in context of everything else that is going on with the master plan as one of the tools that the town could use.
Could I excuse myself? You don't need a quorum anymore, do you?
I think we are ready to adjourn, actually. So that was just the only update. I just wanted to let everyone know that that had happened. And I'd be happy to, if there's no other new business, happy to take a motion to adjourn.
I just want to say one thing. I feel frustrated by this gentleman, and I hope I didn't put Don on the spot, but I feel that if he needs to come prepared for meetings, it's an hour almost of all of our time. And it's a second meeting, and I have to say, I'm really frustrated. I don't have time for this. He needs to come prepared with measurements. Don was generous enough to offer his professional services, and I just really don't like how that meeting went. I'm sorry. He just really irritates me. I feel like he's playing all of us. So I'm sorry.
No, it's I
Very
think
frustrated by his behavior.
it's
Really not nice.
I think we can set expectations with the people coming before the committee. Absolutely.
I just had to say that, and I apologize, Dawn, if I put you on the spot.
Could I say something here?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very important that when neighbors come before our group, that they come with sketches that are complete, showing the context of what they're proposing. That's one of the problems that I have with Michael's sketches. They don't show
Okay.
the
I'm going to
context.
have to leave, so
Anyway,
Okay.
we can discuss that on Monday.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.
Okay, Mimi made the motion. Don, you're seconding?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mimi, aye. Don, aye.
Thank you.
Lisa? I'm gonna
Thank
say
you.
aye. I think we're good. All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank
I'll
you
see
all.
you on Monday at 3 o'clock in person.
All right, have a good night.